Hey, what is going on, guys and girls? Twintendo here. Hope you're having an awesome day as usual. And in today's Super Mystery Dungeon video, we're going to be talking about all the shops and the shopkeepers that have been announced. Now, I think this is the final roster of shopkeepers. I don't think they're going to announce anymore. So there's 6 in total, 3 brand new ones and 3 old ones. So it's a nice mix. And basically, I'm going to talk about the old shops first, and then I'm going to talk about the newer shops afterwards. So we'll start off with Kecleon. Now, anyone who's played a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game will know exactly what Kecleon does in this one, but for those who've never played one, I'm just going to explain it anyway. So Kecleon is basically a shop where you can buy and sell items. So if you find any items in a dungeon and you don't want them, go over to Kecleon's place, sell them, make a bit of money, it's pretty good. And then you can also buy items which are really useful for dungeons, so like apples, reviver seeds, all sorts, it's really good, and you have to buy stuff really if you want to survive in this game. So Kecleon's place is very useful, but nothing's really changed. I think you can still buy TMs from there, not sure, because there is something about TMs coming up later on in this list that I need to talk about. But anyway, next up we go to Klefki. Now Klefki is technically a new Pokemon, but the shop is actually the same from Explorers of Time, Darkness and Sky and Gates of Infinity. And this shop is actually one that opens treasure boxes. So in Explorers of Time, Darkness and Sky we had Xatu, who opened it with psychic powers. In Gates of Infinity we had Rampardos, who literally just smashed them open. And this makes sense for this one. Super Mystery Dungeon, you have Klefki. He's a key Pokemon and can unlock treasure boxes. It's quite smart. I actually like the idea of that. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Basically, what these treasure boxes are, you find them in dungeons. You can't unlock them unless you go to Klefki. So you pay a bit of money, I guess. I think it's normally around 150, poker or whatever it is. And then basically just find out what's in the treasure box. Sometimes you can get good items, sometimes it's okay. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a really cool shop. I really like the treasure boxes from Explorers of Time, Gates of Infinity, so I'm really glad to see them back. But anyway, moving on, we get to Configurus's Glorious Gold Store, which is basically the same from Gates of Infinity. I never played Gates of Infinity, but I'm going to explain it to you guys who either never did or have never played Mystery Dungeon. So basically, you can find gold bars in dungeons. Now, you can trade these or give these to Configurus. Now, you can sell them for 555 poker or gold or whatever you want to call it, or you can trade them for certain items. So a certain amount of gold bars can be traded for certain items. So you can trade 2 gold bars for a reviver seed, 15 for joy seed, stuff like that. It's 50 gold bars for 1 TM. So I don't know how common they are, but you're going to need a lot. So basically, they're a nice way of making money, but also you can get good items out of them. So I think that's literally the same from Gates of Infinity. But now we actually get to move on to the awesome new shops and stores. These are really, really interesting. Now, first off, we're going to start off with Hawlucha. Now, Hawlucha is one we've been speculating for about, I don't know, a good 3 months, I'd say, what Hawlucha's shop actually is. We kind of figure out what it does, but not entirely, so let me explain. So, first of all, Hawlucha can teach Pokemon old moves, and what I mean by that is literally just a move relearner, which was kind of in the Link shops from old Mystery Dungeon games. I think Gulpin could teach you old moves. I'm pretty sure Electrify could. And, that's not really new, but there is something that's interesting from the translation, and that says it can also change the properties of a Pokemon. So I don't know what that means really, but I can guess, is it, linking moves again? But I think it would have explained that, in the translation. Or is it something different? Now let's think about Hawlucha itself. And what's special about Hawlucha, why did they pick Hawlucha to be a move relearner? There's one interesting thing, and that Hawlucha is the only Pokemon ever at the moment that has a dual type move. So Flying Press is a fighting type and also a flying type move. Pretty interesting. Now let's think about it. It can change the properties of a Pokemon. Can it change the type of either a Pokemon's moves or anything else? That's something to keep in mind. So Hawlucha is definitely something to check out for when the game does come out. Honestly, don't know 100% what Hawlucha does at the moment, but it's very, very interesting. So moving on, we get to go to Kangaskhan. So glad to see Kangaskhan back. They actually used to have a storage store in Explorers of Time, Darkness and Sky and Blue and Red Rescue Team. Kangaskhan was probably my favourite store just because I actually like Kangaskhan, but basically it got replaced in Gates of Infinity with a little crappy box, and that's back in this game. So a lot of us were a bit upset to see no Kangaskhan, but they actually do have a store again, and this is actually a cafe, which is kind of weird because Spinder had a cafe in Explorers of Sky. Now there's a few interesting things about Kangaskhan's cafes. First of all, they're kind of located in a lot of locations. So let's see. There's a big building in Serene Village, which we kind of thought was going to be like the village elder's like house or something. It isn't the case. It's actually Kangaskhan's cafe. Now we can actually see a picture of it here inside, and also on the Serene Village map we can also see Kangaskhan located outside. So there's clear indication that that is Kangaskhan's cafe. Now in YY Town, which I am going to be making a video on a breakdown of that town later on, we can see Kangaskhan outside it, and a building very similar to the one in Serene Village, and we also get to see inside that one, and that one looks pretty nice, to be honest. It's better than Serene Village's one. So we also get to see another similar shaped building in the Wind Continent. Again, I'm going to be making a video on that continent as well later on when I get a chance. Not much is known about that place, but I'm going to try and find some information about it, as I always do. But yeah, so Kangaskhan is literally spreading faster than Starbucks, which is crazy, and fair play. And also, what's interesting about Kangaskhan's cafe is that you can receive presents for solving Pokemon's problems. What that is, we don't know. Do you get presents for doing connection orb missions? Honestly, don't know. It's going to be really interesting. Maybe there's some certain missions you can only do at cafes. Hopefully we'll find out very soon. And finally, the most interesting shop of all, and yeah, probably my favourite, is Meows Cinema. Now let me explain this first of all. Not much is known about this shop, so I'm just going off of translation and it's still hard to follow, but basically it's a cinema where you enter a dungeon. However, these dungeons apparently are really difficult, and if you can beat the dungeon, it says you can upload it to the internet. Now what this is, I don't know. Is it just your stats, or do you actually get to upload clips of you going through this dungeon? And what's interesting, obviously guys, it's a cinema, so it's probably most likely these dungeons are going to be like taking part in like films settings or something. So I'm just trying to think, are these dungeons going to be really like out there, really interesting? Could you do a dungeon in space, Wild West, something like that? That'd be really interesting. So not much is known about that, so I'm just guessing for that part, but hopefully we'll find out very soon. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. So if you haven't subscribed already and you don't want to miss any other Super Mystery Dungeon content, because I've got like 15 videos left to make at least, and I know we'll be getting new trailers soon, especially in September, because the game will come out then, and they normally like air a few trailers before the game comes out, on TV to get people to buy it. So we will definitely see some new trailers soon. So guys, if you don't want to miss any of that, big red button on screen and down below, click it now. And if you missed our 2 previous videos, they're going to be on screen now. On the left hand side is my first Pokemon trading card video. Now what I do is just unbox like tons of packs, and you guys can see what I've got, and that's part 1 up there. It's really fun to watch. I get some awesome cards, and some of the reactions are pretty funny, to be honest. And basically I'm going to be uploading quite a few of these videos, like trading card videos, in the future. Just want to try and grow our fan base a bit, just get a nice mix of Pokemon fans into the channel, because it's always nice to have more people to talk to, because you guys know I literally reply to as many comments as I can. So that'll be pretty interesting. And on the right hand side, guys, you can see more information about the exploration team in Super Mystery Dungeon. Basically they're the new guild, really cool characters, a lot of information about them, so definitely check that out if you haven't seen it already. And guys, that is it. Hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you in our next video.